Welcome, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the kickoff for the very next WikiTree challenge for 2025. It's challenge number 6, and we have our special guest, Katherine Willson, who is with us. How are you, Katherine?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, it's great having you here.
It's
Yeah,
exciting.
it is. Yes. Now, Katherine is a repeat guest. She's already been through the WikiTree challenge back when the first year that we did it.
Yes, I feel a little greedy. Like, should I have made room for somebody else to come in?
No. This is all good. You're back.
No, well, you were invited and we wanted you back, so
Thank you so much.
we're happy to do so. And the focus will be slightly different, so we'll talk about that in a sec. But I also do want to introduce some other important people here. So of course, one of the most important is Eowyn, our forest elf. Eowyn does lots and lots of stuff in the background to keep everything moving smoothly on WikiTree and organizing. And she one of the things that she does is contact all of our guests and invite them and whatnot. So does lots of stuff some that we see and a lot that we don't see to keep WikiTree moving smoothly.
Behind the scenes magic.
Behind the scenes stuff is very important. Yeah. We also have Azure Robinson is also with us, and she is the giant orange tangerine WikiTree symbol that you see
And
there.
she is working behind the scenes.
The Zoom call. And she does lots of stuff, and she's not able to make it face to face with us this time. So that's why I'm taking the lead. My name is Greg Clark. I'm a WikiTree member, and I like to host things, and
and you do math.
I do math. I'm a retired math computer science teacher.
Yes.
Doing a little app development a little bit here and there. So okay, you keep moving around. Currently right now to the right of me is Chris Feriolo. Wave, Chris.
Hey everybody, I
Captain.
am a WikiTree member. I also work with the Ambassadors Project, and I am a project coordinator for the Italy Project. And you may be wondering, why is someone from the Italy Project working with Katherine Willson? Well, I'll tell you. I was going to get a glitter card from her. No, just kidding.
You got a glitter card.
She does love glitter. She absolutely loves glitter. And
I
actually,
love it.
Catherine's one of my good friends. And I figured, hey, yeah, sure, I'll help her out. Because, hey, that's what friends do around here, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
I was
That's
thrilled when I saw your name as the captain. I was like, oh, people I know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Now, are there Italian branches on your tree?
Yes,
On
so
mine,
find
no.
out.
Not that you know of.
We'll make one up for you.
Okay,
We'll
all
make
right.
one up.
All right, yeah. I
Yeah.
did love watching The Sopranos, if that counts.
Does that count?
I loved it. I loved that show. Oh, it was so, you know what's the swearing on the show was so bad that every time our nieces and nephews came over, we had to like really make an effort, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
Swearing? What's swearing? That was just normal language around here.
No. Welcome everyone, and all the other people you see are WikiTreeers who are joining us. Some maybe for the first time on a WikiTree challenge, and others who have been along with us a lot. Celia Marsh is also a WikiTree.
I'm the challenge assistant.
Challenge assistant. I was trying to think of the exact title, Celia. Thank you. The challenge assistant. And she does critical things like, for example, posting the branches or the people that we have the brick walls, and so that we can get bounty points. So the people who are working on your tree get extra points if they can get beyond this certain brick wall. And the initial round of bounty points goes to people who make the first connections to each of your, I believe it's the great grandparents through there.
Yeah, the 8.
What's that?
It's the 8 people. I think that's great grandparents.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are new and you think, well, this is great, but who is this Katherine Willson that we're talking about? So your official biography reads as follows. Katherine R Willson is a genealogy lecturer, educator, and professional researcher who has been teaching genealogy classes since 2001. She specializes in solving difficult genealogical problems in the Great Lakes region and tracing westward migration from the Midwest. She's the author of The Genealogist's Guide to Grand Rapids, Michigan, published in 2018, and has held leadership positions in numerous genealogy organizations. As a seventh-generation Michigander and Army Reserve wife, she brings both personal heritage knowledge and diverse life experience to her genealogical work.
Well, that's beautiful. I don't know who wrote that up, but that was gorgeous.
That was me. It was all me. It was all me.
Sounds
That was
wonderful.
fabulous.
No, it wasn't me.
One question I have is, you're the author of The Genealogist's Guide to Grand Rapids, Michigan. That seems like a very specific niche.
It is so specific, and it was completely caught me by surprise. So there used to be a publishing group called the Genealogy. What did they call it? It was Terry O'Connell, Jennifer Alford. I forget who else was with them. And it was when the National Genealogical Society conference was coming to Grand Rapids in 2018 for the conference. And they contacted me about 6 months prior and said, hey, we have this idea since you live in Michigan. And I'm like, I consider myself an expert on Michigan. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on Grand Rapids specifically, right? And they're like, well, are you up for it? And now suddenly I'm an expert on Grand Rapids.
There we go. Wow.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. And it ended up to be this tiny, tiny little booklet that is now at the Library of Congress. So I'm not going to complain.
Look at that. That's very impressive.
You may have
That's
seen
fun.
my book at the Library of Congress.
Very cool. That's great. So before we went live, Catherine was asking, well, what's going to be different this time around? So one of the things that is different, when Catherine first joined us, the first round, our focus was taking our genealogy guest and going as far back as possible, extending their tree as far back in time as we could, as many branches as we could. And I think we were pretty successful.
Yeah.
How far back did we get, Catherine? Do you remember?
Oh my, like 2 or 3 generations on some lines. It was crazy. It was so we were talking, right before you started letting people in, we were talking about how I can't wait to be retired because right now I work on all of my clients' genealogy and I really haven't worked on mine much at all for many years. And I remember when you guys gave the big reveal the last time with these new lines, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to sink right into this. There's so much to look at. And I didn't get a chance. I can't wait to be retired. I remember going to Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy and Tom Jones said, don't ever stop researching your own family. And I feel so ashamed every time I remember that. I'm like, I did though. I did. I'm working on my clients someday.
Someday. Yeah, that's right. Even if you just sneak a few weekends here and there.
I know. I think like, what about like a Sunday morning, make
Yeah.
some coffee, have a little Danish or something, sit here and do some work. And then I end up doing client stuff. How many billable hours can I get in this week?
Well, so the focus this time around is different. We're going to be expanding your CC7. So that's CC7 is the metric that we use on WikiTree to describe how close people are. It just stands for the close connections at the 7th degree.
Okay.
So connections at 1 degree are your immediate family. So your parents, your spouse, your children, and your siblings.
Okay.
And then at 2 degrees would be the 1st degree of each of those. So your spouse's parents, your spouse's siblings, your children's spouses and children.
Wow.
Not. So you can, so going out to 7 degrees, you can get your in-laws of your in-laws of your in-laws, and it can go through a number of different branches. So
that's crazy. That's so much to keep track of. Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of neat because not everyone in your CC7 up to your 7 degrees will be all related by blood, but they'll all be connected one way or the other. So
Right.
through a combination of blood relationships, nuclear family and
Yeah.
marriages, there'll be a direct path from you to all these other people at 7 different degrees.
That is so cool.
It is really neat. And then
does WikiTree connect at all to Family Search, or does Family Search connect to WikiTree? Because wouldn't it be great if we're at Family Search and there's the research places, and if it let us click on WikiTree, because you guys have one of the things I loved when I was introduced to it back during COVID was that there's all this documentary evidence supporting, and we don't see that as often on a lot of the family search trees, on some of them, not all of them. And it
I
would be
think the
so
most
great.
that- yeah.
So
I think the most that we have
WikiTree,
is the ability to search for a profile on families on WikiTree that's on family search. We can just like, okay, is this profile on family search? And we can
Okay.
all
Yeah.
like one of the drop down menus. I forget which one. But
We
yeah,
do
you
it a
can.
lot with Sourcer will do it a lot, one of the tools that we have. And there's also the ability to sort of integrate a link on WikiTree
Mhm.
profile pages that takes you directly to the family search one. Obviously,
Okay.
family search doesn't automatically link back to us, but some people do put links to various profiles there as well. So it's a collaborative.
That's a great idea. I think that's the one thing I'm definitely going to do after this, is because I feel like you guys have so much built in that isn't on the family search. I stopped adding stuff to the family search tree once I realized anybody could go in and change it. And, you ask them, why'd you change it? And they're like, well, grandma said so. I'm like, I have documentary evidence right here. I was totally right, and they changed it anyway. So I didn't spend as much time and energy, but I love this idea of being able to put in the links so people can see, here's a bunch of documentary evidence.
Yeah. And sourcing is very important to us on WikiTree, and but I mean, people can still active WikiTreeers can add and change things on a profile, but the idea is that we do collaborate and work together, and so you can be notified right away.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, here's the source that I use to prove that this is the birth date, and this one, and maybe one was from a birth record, one was from a death record, was reported secondhand, and so you can come to a collaboration. And there's also
I love that whole collaborative part.
Yeah.
That's so fabulous.
The other advantage to the WikiTree profiles over many of the other world trees is that our profile is basically like a giant wiki page, as you might guess from the name, which means you can put as much detail and prose and description about the ancestor or the person you're on the profile, but also lots of research notes. So if there is discussion or there is conflicting evidence, you can put that in the research notes for, eventually someone can when we find a conclusive piece of information that, tips the balance one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, just like everyone's.
It's so cool. That is just so cool.
Yeah. So we have let's see. So I talked about the CC7, and so we're going to be working on together. Chris, do you know how many people have signed up for this round?
Well, I think, let me look at my email list. I think, well, it's well over a dozen so far. Let me look. Yeah, we got quite a bit of people.
I
don't know the exact number offhand, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, it's over almost 20 people. Yeah.
Okay, so the score sheet looks rather bare right now because people are watching here. We haven't actually started, but one of the interesting things that we do, it looks like, Celia, shouldn't at least this be?
It may not have.
Oh, Alesh may not haven't turned it on yet.
Well, it may be that this shows up after the second hour.
Oh, okay, then that's true.
The first one is just starting the spreadsheet. The second one is sort of collecting all the information. My guess. So
okay. So one of the interesting things, which will be more interesting when we get this, when the thing is started, it shows the distance between everyone who's participating at the beginning of the week and then at the end of the week. So
the distance of what?
The change in connection between.
Let me just show you if I remember the number. There we go. So this is the score sheet from the previous challenge. So I can show you and Diane Southard was our guest then.
Yeah.
So if you look here, so Candy Hawkins was one of our WikiTree members, and at the beginning of the challenge, she was 42 degrees away from Diane. That meant you had to go to 42 different people. So, 6 times the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon away. But at the end of the challenge, she got 1 degree closer.
Oh, that is so cool. Look at somebody
Show-
else down there has
Show
24.
yours,
Okay.
Greg. Go on, show
Okay.
yours.
And I was one of the huge benefactors because I started out 51 steps away from Diane, but at the end of the conference, end of the challenge, I was only 25. So
How the heck did you do that?
my distance was half. Now my connection was through a common ancestor. So at the beginning of the challenge, Diane and I were 24th cousins, like way back to the William the Conqueror. But now we are ninth cousins twice removed.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
That's very cool. Yeah, someone
I love
connected.
this because it's like we all are related, right? Like it
Exactly.
doesn't matter what our skin color and religion and none of that. We're all related, and that is so fantastic.
Yeah, so it's really neat because as people get added, and that's something that happens a lot more frequently with the going through the CC7 because we're going
Yeah.
through all these collateral lines, and
Yeah.
one of those collateral lines might sort of close a gap between, fill in a.
I can see that if there are people who are participating, that belong to like Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution and possibly the Mayflower, I can imagine that there will be a number of them for me because on my mom's side, going back to like the Wildey and the Havens lines, they're all way early settlers, like 1600s, 1700s here in America. And I know that a lot of times it's harder when we're researching our immigrant ancestors, which is all on my dad's side. No.
Neat.
That is so cool that you got that close.
So that's something we're going to look forward to. So once the this week's score sheet gets up and running, then you can see as people will add profiles, and then our distances, ideally, some of those will improve. So that's kind of cool.
That spreadsheet will look amazing when you look at it at the reveal.
Yeah.
That is so fun.
That's right. Yeah. So, so for those of you who are here and wanted to know what some of the other details about working on the challenge, if you need help at any point in time, there's always lots of people here who can help. So if you see myself or Chris or Celia or Eowyn or Azure online in the Discord, you can ask away. In fact, there is a whole Discord channel that's devoted specifically to the current challenge. And so I recommend that you join that.
Yes, I'll be making an announcement in there after the stream is over. So I'll be like, hey guys, what's going on? Let's get started.
I think somebody needs to do a tutorial for those of us that just don't understand the whole Discord thing.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Really?
Yes, we have a video, a how-to video on how to get started with Discord and WikiTree.
I believe it is higher up on that page even.
On this page?
Yeah.
There it is right there. What is Discord?
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so I'm going to put a link to this page in the chat right now.
All right, I'm going to copy it.
And I welcome anyone to copy it. Okay, where's this? I'm hitting the chat button. Where on my screen is the chat? Oh, there it is. I was looking on the wrong monitor.
There we go.
There we go. So,
all right.
What part of Australia am I going to this time? Oh, Amanda, excellent question. Amanda is one of our amazing Australian, I was going to say entrepreneur. I wanted another letter that started with A.
I actually have a line. There's a line of my my mom's second or third great grandmother who came from England into the U.S. and one of her siblings, or maybe 2 or 3 of her siblings, went to Australia. It was like 2 in the morning one time, and I'm like, "What am I doing in Australia?" I had no idea.
Well, there you go, Amanda.
It was super, super fun.
Check out Catherine's mom's line.
Yeah, what was her? I'll think of the last name. It'll come to me while we're talking, and then I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. So Discord is an excellent place to go get help. There are people there all the time. No one ever seems to sleep. Celia's really bad at not sleeping.
I'm so bad at not sleeping. Or I'm so good at not sleeping. I don't know. Maybe that's...
Yeah.
I think that's true for so many of us, right? We start working and late in the night,
That's right. That's right. So that's a great place to look for help. And if it's not so much you don't know you don't know how to do something, but you're not sure where to start, there is a bunch of things here that are set up. So one of the things we can do on WikiTree is we can add categories to profiles so that groups profiles together that have some things in common. And we have created a bunch of WikiTree challenge maintenance categories. So if your forte is writing biographies, then there'll be profiles that'll be put in that category. So if you click on the needs work for biography, I don't know if that it's empty right now, of course, because we just started a brand new one. But the ones that need that work would be in this list here, and there is no, it's an empty list, so it's a null set. If you're creating create a profile and you know, well, there's a family of 9 kids. I don't have time right now because I do need to sleep to go to work tomorrow. You could put that category on the profile that you just finished, and then someone else can come along and then say, oh, well, I can add these other ones. So that's another one that you can look for, which is helpful because that means that someone's done, all the prep work, and you can just come in and scoop in and, create a bunch of other profiles with not quite as much background work. If there's a GEDCOM cleanup tag or category we can add. Military templates. We will find throughout the progress of the week, we will find some ancestors, relatives, and distant connections who have been part of various conflicts. And so we like to add a template to each of those to identify, whether they're in the War of Independence, the Civil War, World War I, or any of the other conflicts.
So if I know some of that information, should I put it in?
That would be great. Yeah.
So do I just go to this same page that you have here right now?
You scroll down further. If Greg
Okay.
scrolls down further,
Okay.
you will see
Okay.
the military section.
Tell us what you found. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've got we've set up, the list of different types of conflicts and whatnot.
Okay.
And we just list the profiles as they are here. So if you already have some, you can add those, but our WikiTree challenges.
That's okay if I participate too, like putting stuff in here?
It certainly is. We had
No.
one week, we just barely kept them from being the MVP of their own.
Their own challenge.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I've got a huge client load this week, and the next week. But I would love to, put in the information about the ones that I've already researched. So
That'd be super. Great.
And is this true also about my husband's line? Does that count in that connection thing?
It does, yeah,
If you
because
want it to.
your husband is 1 degree away from you, so 6 degrees away from him will also
Okay.
count towards your own CC7. So yeah.
Okay.
If there's any
More.
place that you don't want research, just let Greg or Chris know, and they'll.
Oh, who would not want research? Like,
well,
bring me the dirt. Tell me about the black sheep.
Oh,
Some
okay.
people don't.
I've asked for it.
Clearly, we'll go.
You've asked for, yes.
I love that. I had a client who she called me one time and she said that her whole purpose in calling me was she wanted me to prove that grandma never had any other husbands, because at a family reunion, someone said, grandma's other husband. And she's like, grandma never had another husband. He never got married. And I'm like, well, I can look through the marriage records in Detroit and find out if there are, and I can't necessarily prove she didn't. I can just say there are no records for it, right?
Yes.
Grandma had 5 other husbands.
What?
She was livid. She didn't want to pay for my research. I'm like, we got to sign contract. You got to pay for this, baby, right?
Wow.
I love the dirt. Give me 5 minutes. Anytime I have a client that says, oh,
Yeah.
we're white bread,
Were you charging per
you won't
husband?
find any dirt. I'll find it.
Catherine, were you charging per husband?
Yeah, I should have, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was every time I found another one, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was very mysterious, these men dying of suspicious circumstances. And I'm like, there is a story here. Yeah.
But she's definitely not going to want to know that story.
I love stuff like that. That's why I do this, right? It's the thrill of the mysteries.
Gossip. It's fantastic.
I love it.
Gossip.
That's incredible.
Wow. Catherine, you're going to have to tell me what this lady reaction was to all the suspicious circumstances. You're going to have to tell me after this.
Oh yeah. She was so mad. She was just so mad with me.
Wow.
Big
Poor
man.
Oh man. So the other thing, as I was scrolling down to get to the military finds, you'll notice we keep track of all the locations of places where that are already on
Oh,
your family
cool.
tree. And then wow, this is
the
very
starting
cool.
point. She has 800 people, and clearly most of them lived in different places.
Ah, okay. Well, that would make sense.
So we
Yeah.
still got 11 more states to find.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
You don't have all the provinces of Canada. You've only got 6 of
So
the
all
10
of these places were pulled from what's already in my tree?
from your
Yep.
existing tree. Yes.
That is so cool. So,
Yeah.
because Catherine Lake Hogan was asking earlier about who are the Canadian connections. So, if she clicks on those, will it tell her who the Canadian connections
It
are?
won't, but we have searches that will do that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Really, once I retire, I can't wait to just like spend so much time digging through all this.
Yeah. And lots of England.
Yeah, that's my mom's side. So much English.
Okay.
And
Couple-
actually my husband's too.
Okay.
I saw Massachusetts in the U.S. area, so
Yeah.
check that out.
We got some Germany, and we have some really strong German WikiTreeers. I'm not sure.
One of them found like, I think is the one who found like 1 or 2 more lines on my dad's side that was, and it was fat, and he had records that he could read because, you know, they were in German. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
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 We often call them in Discord if we find records. We'll just summon people from other projects to.
Yeah.
You guys have a really phenomenal community going on here.
It is great. I gotta say, I'm quite very happy since I've joined it. So it's wonderful. No, I feel like I'm going all over the place. Let me scroll back up here. Along with needs work, if you need specific types of records, you can put those categories on so people can help you out. There'll be a follow-up Zoom call on Saturday after the roundup.
Yes.
At noon, right? It's scheduled at noon, Chris?
Yeah, so that means you're gonna have to wrap up the
I have to wrap up before noon.
Yeah. I will be in the audience, kind of like,
You'll be
playing
telling
the
me.
music, like at the
Always is
offshoot.
good to remind me. Yes, I'm one of the co-hosts for the Saturday morning roundup, the WikiTree roundup, which happens at 10
I don't think
a.m.
that one's in my calendar. Do I have to be in that one?
You don't have to be in that one at all.
Okay.
No,
Because I'm in the reveal. I put the reveal in my calendar, but
Good.
4th of July weekend, all this stuff coming up.
Right. Okay, good. But there's a 12 noon one that's happening on Saturday where the people who have been working on the challenge get together and whatnot. And the last month, I had a mystery that I couldn't solve by the end of the time together between Celia and Azure. They found the marriage record I was missing and all the details that I needed to.
Wow.
So yeah, that's another place to get help.
You guys are just incredible.
They are. Now, one of the things that we like to add to profiles are photographs. It just makes everything come to life.
Yeah.
So, one question: Do you have a ancestry tree or a family search tree that you work on that you're willing to share with the group?
Yeah. So my ancestry tree, I think, is linked on my page.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Is it somewhere?
I'll
If it's
open up
not, I
your
can.
profile.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Right there.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, but I have way more photos than what's in the tree, so I can make that be my first. Before I play with Discord, I'll pull out the photos and get those.
Okay.
Can I just, instead of putting them on Ancestry, can I just put them right at WikiTree?
Oh
You
yeah.
certainly could. Yep,
Okay.
you could. In fact, probably the easiest thing would be to create a free space page.
A what page?
So one of the things we can do on WikiTree, so many pages are profiles, so they're devoted specifically to a person, right?
Yeah.
So this is yours, and if we looked at your ancestors line, we could grab, say, where's your mother's? Which one is the one from Australia? Do you know offhand?
I'll go up to the Maudlin line.
Maudlin.
And Charles Henry Maudlin, click on him. He's an.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah, look
Florence.
at that one needs some love. I need to take that to the restoration place.
So her.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the Woods line.
Yeah, if you click on that pink box on the right that says Sarah Adelaide Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, click on that. And then click on her father.
Edward.
Yep. So a number of Edward's children, I believe, were the ones who went to Australia.
Okay. Okay. Amanda, you getting notes, taking notes?
And I'm going to double check and make sure that's correct.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
if not, we can always
So,
watch a replay of this
yeah,
video.
so this is one type of page, right, with a profile with
Yeah.
lots of information there. And you see this one's one that actually already has a research note about the middle name or lack
Okay.
thereof sort of thing. And of course, the sources are at the bottom. But we also have pages that we call them free space pages. So they're like a wiki page, but they're not devoted to a single person. They can be used for
Like-
any type of topic or collection
challenge.
or research or a challenge. Like in
And they're
fact,
not tied to a person.
they're
Like,
not tied to a person. So this actually is an example of a free space page.
oh,
because
okay. Free space.
it's the focus for our challenge, and we use it to organize everything we're doing. So
We usually
Yeah.
use it for like one place studies, one name studies, or
Okay.
cover
Yeah.
Pretty
studies.
much literally anything that you want to put on here. Some people put wills up when they're transcribing. Some people they just store pictures that they later put on profiles.
Okay.
Stuff like that you can,
Mhm.
yeah, anything you can think of. Somebody has made a free space page to do that. And there,
Okay.
show her, if you scroll up, Greg, and show her how to find the create.
Yes. So you go to add, and then you go to new free space.
Oh,
profile,
okay.
And then you just
So
put
that's what I'll do and put all the photos. I'll scan all the photos
Yeah.
and put them on
Yeah.
one of these.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you just upload the photos. Now,
Okay.
as far as I know, you have to upload the photos one at a time. Is that still true, Eowyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But when you upload the photo, then you can give it a title,
The who, the when, and the
location, and
where.
a date if you know them.
Okay.
And so you can like all that sort of metadata, you can put that in up front, which slows you down when you're doing the initial upload, but it makes it
Yeah.
so much more valuable after the fact. So
Well, I needed this motivation. Over here, I've got one whole shelf that's just filled with bins labeled with surnames, all these photos and documents. And I keep saying, when I retire, I'm going to upload it all. And I tell my husband, if I die first, make sure somebody gets these, right? Like, don't let this stuff go. I have this fear that there'll be a big dumpster in my front yard if I go first, right? My whole genealogy library, all my personal
no.
research.
Can't have that.
No, we don't want that. No.
No. So this is good. I need this motivation to get these photos up here.
Yeah, that's great. So in the short term, if people are working from your ancestry tree, do we have the permission to use any of those photos?
Oh, yeah,
Those okay?
absolutely.
Okay. Those are yours. Okay. I just wanted to verify that. If you are finding photos for the challengers who are working on this, if you're finding photos other places and you're not sure, we do have to make sure that we have the copyright, we have the permission to use them. So obviously Katherine is willing to share the ones that she has done and collected and already has that worked out. But if you're getting them from somewhere else, then please make sure that we have the permission to do that.
Yeah.
On Family Search, you can usually click on a photo and then find out who owns the photo or where it comes from, so you can contact them if you need to. If you have problems or questions, then contact Eowyn or Azure, and they will help you through that process. Is there anything else I should say about that, Eowyn?
No, I think you got it all.
Okay. The other thing, talking about Family Search, sometimes when you're doing research, the records that you want are locked behind a Family Search Center, and you have to physically go there to access one of those computers. And if that's the case, we do have WikiTreeers who live very close to family search centers or family search libraries and can do that for you. So if you need records that you can't get online at home, then put the request here, and what you can do is you can just hit the little edit button, and you can say, I need a birth record, or
include the link if you have it.
right. And I don't have a link for anything, so I'm going to make up family search dot my record needed. Whatever. Yeah. So you'd put that, and
Okay.
then one of the things you need to do, and I'm talking to all the people who are going to be working on Catherine's tree, is at the end of this, put 4 tildes in a row. Those little squigglies, those are called tildes. And if you put 4 in a row, then when you save,
They're usually next to the 1 on the keyboard. They're like a shift next to the 1.
yes, yeah.
Although in European
top
keyboards
left.
are a little different. So
Yeah. So when you save that, I'm going to hit the save button here. Example of family search request. When I go back into view mode, you will see it'll say the request that I wrote down, birth record for
Oh, look at that.
and then it automatically puts my ID, which if you hover over it, you see details about me and the exact time when that request was made. So then
That's so cool.
the researcher will know if you put the URL of the record that you need, they'll know exactly where to get it when they're at the library, so they won't waste their time. And they'll know exactly who to email it to or send them in Discord or whatever. So, and the same sort of thing holds true if you're adding information in the interesting finds. So one of the things that you, I don't know if you remember this from last time, Catherine, as we research throughout the week, we we're adding people here, there, and left. And if we come across another grandmother who was married 5 times, you can bet someone will add it to the interesting finds.
Yes.
And tell you that story and spin that tale on the reveal.
I love interesting finds.
Yes.
I love that part.
So for all of you researchers, keep your eyes out for some interesting finds. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to wait till the 5th marriage of a grandmother or, anything like that. Can be, Celia really likes train crashes.
I don't. This is just historically, every time we do a challenge, somebody in the challenge dies by train. It's not that I have a preference for them.
Actually, I have that.
See?
It was a huge train crash up by Fort Custer in Michigan, and one of my collaterals died in the train crash.
See, it just always happens.
That's super cool. That's
Unfortunately,
like an article waiting to be written.
yeah, unfortunately, these things are, what it is a lot of times is that these are horrible traumatic things and they get lots of coverage in the newspaper, so they're really easy to find.
Yeah, I'm the odd man out. I have no train wreck.
None? Oh, Chris, I can find them.
Which is weird because trains go up and down by the Merrimack River all the time. They used to. And there was a train that went right through Salem.
Yeah, maybe we just haven't found one yet, Chris.
Yes, that's right. That'll be the challenge.
Wow.
I'll go look for one right now, just for you.
But so the interesting finds, the thing is that it's a very broad thing. If you find it interesting, go for it.
Put it in.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Also, if we find notables either within your 7 degrees or even going further afield, if they're ancestors. So like one of the notables that was found for the last month, a 10th great grandmother was accused of being a witch in the Salem witch trials, and I think she was one of the last ones.
What?
Yeah.
Did Diane know that?
Had she? I think she said she had. I can't remember.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I think she'd known about it, or she'd known she had one, but she didn't know who it was.
Right.
I mean, not cool that, they got burned at the stake.
Well,
they didn't. They survived.
Oh, okay.
It was when
survived.
They shut everything down after her, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amanda, I'm going to say yes, that does count.
Oh, what did Amanda say? Just falling off the train into her. Yes.
That's an interesting find.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
What else do we have? We talked about free space pages. There are 3 very specific types of free space pages that people work on often. And so if we find a free space page about cemeteries or if we find there are cemeteries, we often list the cemeteries that we visit often.
Okay.
And if there's any name studies or one place studies, we'll add those to the list here.
Oh, that would be cool.
I don't know if do you already participate in some of those?
I signed up for the one that's in England, like sent in money and submitted some names, but I haven't done anything since then.
Okay.
And the place too. I think I did the same thing. I don't remember. That would have been for real like 20, 25 years ago.
Right.
I'm sure I signed up, sent money, and, told myself, oh, someday when I retire.
For researchers, if this is your first time here, then there are, as we talked about at the beginning, there are bounty points you get for finding certain things. So the initial ones are these 8 ancestors. If you're the first person who makes a unique connection for an individual to one of these 8, then you can claim that. And the way to claim it is to go to the G2G post.
So these connections are if you start creating someone and connect to an already existing profile on the tree. It's not just creating a person, it's linking to an already existing one out there.
Will
You're right,
WikiTree tell people that? Like if somebody starts to enter a name, is WikiTree going to say, we have a person that matches this, who, when, and where?
It does.
Exactly.
When you start doing when you start creating somebody, it offers you a list of people that match that that person.
So you don't end up with duplicates.
That is the goal. It sometimes happens, in which case
to minimize the duplicates.
Yes, exactly. And once we find them, we just merge them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
and Azur's right. Interesting finds also get bounty points, so that's another reason to add your interesting finds.
So yeah, there's the list there. So if you make the connection to Wilhelm Friedrich Lang, then you would just click on the comment button here and say, I connected Wilhelm's father's brother to an existing
house. Cool. Yeah.
Blah 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 blah, and you give details, and then okay. So it's simple like that. You don't have to sign it here because it'll automatically be signed. Like you don't have to put the 4 tildes in here because that's part of the G2G form. So what we are right now, this is the G2G stands for genealogist to genealogist, and this is basically like our online discussion forum. This is asynchronous, so you post a message and then people read it and post, when they get around to it. Whereas Discord is live and synchronous, so people are chatting in real time. And that's why the Discord is so exciting, is because you're typing a message and then someone can be typing right back at you. You don't have to
that is cool.
For 20 hours for them to read it and then respond. So
I saw when you were scrolling through one of the pages, it said something about brick walls. Is that a place where I can put in? Because
it is. So what it is used for in this context is on Sunday night or Monday morning, if things happen, I will go through all of the profiles who've been created that don't have parents.
Okay.
And I will put the links in. Some of them may be actual brick walls. Some of them may just be, somebody created someone and didn't add the parents yet. I try to go for a mixture of, I don't want, no bonus points from that. But I want it to be a challenge too.
Yeah.
So it's we call it brick walls, but it's not quite as formal as
so number 6, right above where it says brick walls, number 6 for Amina Myrtle Eel Maudlin. Yes. I forget if it's her father or it must be her grandfather, Lawrence Theodore Eel. I swear aliens dropped that man down into, so I'm not sure that's correct. Is there a
Frankfurt
source for that? Wait, is that?
Go check it out.
Oh, did somebody already solve my brick wall?
We'll see.
No parents added yet.
There is it's from a death certificate.
Oh.
Yeah.
And from a census.
Yeah, they didn't. They just said Germany on them. They didn't say.
Let's see what the record is.
Well, we can look at that record and see exactly who added that information.
Yeah.
That
I got all excited. Like, does somebody really? Because that one, it just says Germany. This man, he just dropped into the aliens, dropped him off the ship, and. Like, why?
Look at check the changes and see who.
Okay. Changes. Changes.
Oh, you know what? I am not going to get any more work done today. I have to go into LiveCasts. Honestly, I'm so excited to dig in and see what if that's right? What if somebody found his birthplace?
Hmm.
Well, they had it. Looks like they had a natural. I know it's a. That's probably from the census.
Naturalized
Yeah,
citizen.
we never found any naturalization paperwork, just what he noted in the census.
Ah.
Well, you can look through and see who exactly adds things and what all the
Yeah.
sources are and all
Yeah.
that.
I have tried to like come back to do reverse genealogy and find all the male descendants for him who are still living so I can have them. I'm like, I will pay for you to take a Y-DNA test, please, right?
Hmm.
Nobody's stepping forward. I'm like, you know, there's a story. There's an interesting find just waiting to happen.
Well, let's just see. Do we have? There is. Oh, you're here. You have an autosomal DNA connection, but it doesn't look like there's any Y DNA. If we go to his DNA page, we go to DNA descendants. The only ones that have WikiTree profiles are his son and grandsons,
Grandsons, yep.
grandkids. Now, I guess the great grandkids.
So I can put in, I should go into Wiki and put in their children and.
Well, if you had their children, then they would show up here and be listed under the Y chromosome. And if they had done DNA tests,
yeah,
then it would.
Because I have all that in my research logs. I just haven't put anything in my ancestry
Right.
tree or Wiki.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now you can add living people if they're relatives.
Yeah.
Awen, do you want to talk about the policy about adding living people?
Yeah, try not to.
Oh, try not to. Okay. Well, I was talking to Catherine specifically,
if it's someone that you know well enough that you feel like you can invite them to WikiTree.
Oh, okay.
Then you could create a profile for them, and then there's a spot where you can, if you put in their email address, it'll send them an invite.
Okay.
If they're not people that you know, really
personally
discouraged,
adding. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and we won't be adding living people during this week.
Yeah, we don't.
Right. Right.
But from the DNA page, you can also see from any specific ancestor, you can also see the people who are listed who carry or could potentially carry some of the X chromosome.
Sure.
Which is kind of neat because that's a pretty tricky path sometimes to navigate. And of course, Lawrence doesn't pass on any mitochondrial DNA, but if it was a female ancestor, they would.
Right.
So that too.
There's so much more that you guys have that I ever knew. I mean, I never even really knew you guys had all that DNA stuff. That's just, it's not fair that I'm not independently wealthy and I can't just sit here and play, that I actually have to work. Gosh.
Or famous, because, famous people.
Or famous, yeah. Like if I could just, sit here and let the money roll in, I could just do genealogy all day for myself.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing that I should profile is that if you are, well, Catherine, you can do this, but any of the WikiTree challenges, if you're working away on the tree this week and you want to let people know that you're working on the WikiTree challenge and you want to promote WikiTree, there are posts. You can share it on your social media.
What's that little M stand for under the X?
Under the X,
that's
Mastodon.
Mastodon?
Mastodon.
I don't know that one.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a different social media platform.
And then that's Blue Sky,
they're
right?
They're approximately Twitter, but different.
Okay.
Yeah.
More recent than it and less politically charged.
And what's that @ symbol?
That I don't know. What's the @ one?
Well, the butterfly is Blue Sky.
Threads. Oh, you know what? It's Threads.
Yeah. What is it?
Threads.
Threads.
Oh my God. Who can keep track of all these? There's so many.
There's so many of them.
Get your butt out of here.
There is also at the very bottom a bunch of general WikiTree resources that people can use, editing tips, example profiles. We have we have two extensions that you can add to your browser that can help you help organize how WikiTree works and how other sites interact with WikiTree. The WikiTree browser extension allows you to sort of reformat the WikiTree page if there are some things that you like. But
Greg
the one
uses
that
it. If you log in and you're like, whoa, this doesn't look like what Greg was sharing, that's
yes,
because of the browser.
Okay.
yeah. I've only changed a few things on the in here.
Well, you have like the side list.
I love the side lists. Yes. So that one of the things I prefer the names down the side like this.
That is fabulous. So that's a browser. That's one of the browser
That's the
extensions.
WikiTree browser extension.
That is cool.
Yeah. So if
It
I
has
click
a
on,
lot of ways that you can customize different things.
yeah. Can you see the
Cool.
options? Yeah, there's lots of different options. Then one of those is how the family list gets highlighted or displayed vertically. So that's one of the.
You know
That's
what?
one.
This is sort of unfair because I have a 1:30 client call and I'm dying to like go in and like
Okay.
add the extension and look
And
at the
then there's
DNA.
also,
The other
we
one,
also
the
have
other one
Sorcerer.
that I'll stop shortly. I promise. So you can have a little lunch. The WikiTree Sorcerer extension is a really powerful one because that's the one. Chris already alluded to it. If you're on a different site like Family Search or Ancestry and you find a record, you can basically copy the details of the record and create a citation and often a narrative as well, and just copy and paste
one
that
click.
with one click
Wow.
into your WikiTree profile. And sometimes, actually, if you find a full record for a person that has a number of valid sources, you can actually copy the whole entire person into WikiTree, and then you've got that starting point. And then, of course, you're probably going to want to do some editing, some tweaking, some rewording of the biography. But
Yeah.
you've got a lot of that data is already there.
A lot of the
Dang, that's really
grunt
cool.
work is done, and it lets you focus on
making
cleanup.
it nice. Yeah, cleaning it up. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a really powerful. Rob Pavey, who's designed that, is a genius, as is Ian
Those
Beach.
people must be brilliant. Honestly, I can barely, update some program on my computer, let alone design something like that.
Yeah.
So the other important thing in that section, scroll up just a little bit, Greg, is this WikiTree Plus section.
Mm-hmm. So WikiTree Plus is a database that runs in the background, and you can query to find specific profiles that meet a certain criteria.
Oh,
cool. If we do this, open up this query here, it preloads it with the query that we're asking for, which is basically looking for all of the current challenge people who have no parents. And if I hit the Get Profiles button, it'll go through that and think, and hopefully, so there's 493 people who are already in your tree, but don't have.
Not sure. I think this may still be the last.
Oh, is it last one?
But it will show.
It will show once we get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Southard listed as a surname.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Down there. Yeah.
But you can see how
that's really cool. Yeah.
You can do things like no parents. You could do, for example, Amanda may use it to find anybody who's in Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was anybody in Australia before. Oh, it was so sad.
Oh. There was someone who died in Japan.
Do Canada. Oh, there we go.
There we got two.
And wow.
So you can do all sorts of searches, and you can find there's it's amazing. It's another absolutely amazing tool.
Oh my gosh, there is so much to play with.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
And we haven't even looked at the tree apps yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We'll show you tree apps at the reveal.
Okay.
Those are really fancy then. So
yeah,
don't worry about that.
Okay.
But for researching, there's some samples that can be used. If you are not sure about using WikiTree Plus, just ask in the Discord, and somebody will make you a link to find things.
This is so amazing. This is honestly, I sort of feel like the 4th of July holiday, I just need to cancel everything just so I can play.
Cancel it all.
Right?
Do it.
We have
do
like
it.
3 different dinners that we have to go to, and I'm like,
No,
oh,
you
really? I
don't.
just
You
can we
don't
not just
need
do
to.
genealogy?
I mean, technically, it turns out that a couple of the Sorcerer and the browser extension can be installed on like tablets and phones.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Saying
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they
it's
both
a
work
little
on.
bit harder to work, but it's not impossible.
So like, during dinner, I'm like, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. I might be a little bit and pull out my tablet.
Yeah. 2 hours
my
later.
stomach's
Right?
a little uneasy
Yeah.
today.
Honey, I have to go home. I'm not feeling well.
That's right.
And get on my computer.
Greg, do you want to scroll down just a little bit more and show the sources?
Sources. Oh, the African American ones, or
Yes. So we have the African American resources
Mhm.
there, and additionally, there is and if you do any, there's the sticker to add.
Mhm.
And additionally, there's specific, if you go into the source library, it will show you free space pages for all the various
Mhm.
source collections that we have.
Let's look at Michigan. See what we have here. Sources.
Oh, yeah.
Sources by county.
Good
And there
stuff
we go.
there.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, let's officially wrap it up, and then I have a quick question for Catherine. I'm gonna put her on the
Okay.
spot.
Okay. So, for those who are taking part in the challenge this week, best of luck. You can start your engines now. Chris will keep you will keep you informed. See us on Discord for if you have any help. Go to the challenge page here, the free space page. That's your starting spot where all of the information is organized. Thank you again, Catherine, for joining us. It's always
Oh my gosh, thank you for inviting me. My pleasure. Honestly, this is such an honor. I keep saying I haven't been able to do anything because I'm, until I retire. So the fact that you guys are helping, I mean, I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
Greg, can you real quick show how to go from her page to the CC7 tree app?
Okay. Sure. Okay, so from Catherine's page, we click on this button here is the tree app button, and it'll open up. And there are a number of different apps. It'll open up to the one that you were using last. So the one that I was using last on Monday was the printer-friendly app, which allows you to print your page. But the one we often use in this challenge is the CC7. So it'll load everyone who's within 7 degrees of you currently, and it gets updated as people add more. And when you scroll down there, there's the list, and they're organized by degrees.
I'm already connected to people on WikiTree.
You're already connected. From the last challenge, you're already connected to a bunch.
Wow.
And so these are people at 2 degrees. Your immediate family are most of them are probably
my cousins. A couple of my cousins participated.
Yeah. And if you see this brick wall now, are your parents both alive?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why this app doesn't know about them, because it can't see those.
Oh, because they're listed as living?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why it looks like you have a brick wall, but we know you don't. But here, for example, Albert has one parent who's missing. I'm guessing that's the missing mother.
Oh, so I can add that, because I wonder why that's...
someone can add it.
Albert Wilson.
And here, Carolina is a perfect person to start with. She's at 4 degrees. If we find Carolina's parents, that's 2 people, and then we can go out 3 more degrees from there. So for those who are new,
so if I have time this afternoon to go in and add some of the stuff that's not on my Ancestry tree or on Wiki, that'll save other people time, right? Because now they're not researching.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yep.
I'll do that.
There we go.
Oh, I don't want to have to work today. Oh, gosh.
There we go. Okay. Thank you again, everyone. And
thank you so much, you guys. This is so fun.
Okay. Have a great day.